Hey there YouTube, Robert again. We're going to go over some basics on editing sketches today. May add a little more detail to the Lego model that we made last time. So come back over to our tree. We've got our rollback bar. Things might go a little easier if we roll back before the shell. What that does is makes it so it didn't happen. If we roll this back down, shell rebuilds, we can see it. But we're going to take this away for just a minute. So now we just have two bosses, our big rectangle and our little circles. The circles weren't placed very well. They're kind of randomly set. So to edit a sketch, you can do one of two things. You can right-click on that boss and select this icon here, Edit Sketch. Or you can expand the boss here and find the sketch itself, right-click and select Edit Sketch. So these are placed kind of randomly. We're going to add some construction lines in between to give it some structure. So I'm going to add a line from here to here, and then to the center point of this circle, and to the circle here. And I'm going to make all three of these separate line segments equal in length. That'll move them in. So now that they're stuck in there, I'm going to take all of these guys, I'm going to select all the center points, and I'm going to select this horizontal. Let's can put them in line horizontally. And do the same thing here. Now these are all horizontal. Now we're going to add some more construction lines. We're going to say this one, here, 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 and here. Oops. I forgot to make these construction lines, so I'm going to do that. Highlight them all. Scroll down on this side over here and make 4 construction. And we're going to make them all equal as well. And this guy is vertical to this guy, this one to this one, and this one to this one. Now these don't really look great. So I'm going to delete this out and make a new line for measuring. Instead, actually what I'm going to do is just measure the distance between here and here. And I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. And that just flew out. So that was interesting. We're going to highlight this guy. And we're going to get this one, and we're going to make them vertical. There we go. So that spaced them out a little bit more effectively. These still aren't quite spaced the way I want them, though. So I'm going to delete these lines here. And I'm going to set a distance between these. So we're going to make it 0.25. Thought I deleted that. There we are. I'm going to add an extra construction line between. Oops. Got some extra lines here. Make sure this is horizontal for construction. Add another line here and here. Make that one for construction. That's good. I'm going to select this line, and we're going to make them equal to each other so that way the whole thing's centered. So that looks a little bit better for spacing here. We're going to click OK. This is the Exit Sketch button. It'll apply the changes. Now these things are evenly spaced, which will make them more useful in our later models. We're going to save our work. Here's the sketch again. So bring these dimensions in. And you can see how they're spaced here. Now we're going to put the shell back on. A little bit better spaced. Next time we go through this, we're going to add some more bosses to the inside of this, make it a little bit prettier. I'll probably do that in the same video, but we're going to record it another time. Okay, so we're back, and I'm going to show you a few more things to do to our part before we move on, editing features and adding some sketches here. Quick tip for you. If you've got a blank screen and you hit R on your keyboard, you'll get your recent documents, things that you've opened recently used on the computer. So here we go. There's that Lego part that we've been working on. We're going to use this part quite a bit for a few other demonstrations. So if you want to make one of these, and we can work together on it for a while. So a real Lego is going to have some structure on the inside of this. So we're going to add to this a bit. If you right click, another tip you'll get this button here, and you can sketch on a face. This only works with planar faces. Normal too, so we're all lined up. There's usually some structure in here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a circle here at the center of each of these circles. They're nice and locked in. Now these are coming in blue. That means if I were to grab them and move them, that they'd still be able to move. So we don't want that. What we can do grab each of these like we did before, make them equal, or you find that same button over here. Now they're all huge. Now the centers are black because they're locked in. Then we're going to select that circle and this edge, make them co-radial. Now they're locked in. We're going to add another trick, offset entities. This tool will create a line offset from your line. That's a bit big. We're going to make this like 0.01 because that was our wall thickness. And I'm going to offset each of these circles. Okay. We can add some more structure here by doing a few more things. I'm going to build a lot of construction lines really quick, so if you want to just watch this part. Okay, that's all set. We're going to draw some structure in here. So I'm going to draw a line, attached funny here. There we go. There we go. I kept grabbing tangent for some reason. And we're going to connect it over here. And we're going to mirror entities. Selection is this line, mirror about this line, check. Here we go, and now if we slide them, they'll move around each other. It's nice. Do the same thing here. Oops, I missed that line. So if you're loose, you can just drag it on and it'll snap to it. Grab another line, grab it, snap to it. So if you want to draw them separately, you can actually select all three of these lines and select the symmetric value, and that does the same thing as using the mirror. Make sure that these are locked in properly. I'm just going to make these parallel and make these parallel. We're going to set a thickness here between these, 0.01, and these, 0.01. Okay, now we've got some lines connected. We need to trim out the extra. So the trim tool, I'm going to use the power trim, which means that you just draw a line through the lines. So we're going to click and drag, and now that line disappears. Click and drag, line disappears. We're going to do this in a few other places. We don't want to hit the construction lines. Whoops, see, I just hit the construction line, so I killed it. So we got to start over. There we go. Because this sketch has got to be closed to form a solid. Keep going. Okay, that's set. Clean up that one. And there. Okay. So this is looking pretty good. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to mirror these sketch lines. Just highlight, I just held a control and then clicked on all of those. Use the mirror entities tool here. I'm going to mirror them across here, and that's going to put them there. And then I'm going to do basically the same thing. Mirror, select each of these lines, and then I'm going to mirror them about this line. And then we're going to trim up some of these extra little bits here. Oops. That's fine, we'll just ignore that for now. It's mad at us, but we're just going to keep going. There we go. There was an over-defined relationship, that's why everything turned red and yellow. See, there it is again. It's conflicted, but once I trim up all these lines, it should go away. See? Sometimes errors aren't so bad. Okay, now everything's mad at us because there's some sort of sketch relation that's not happy. But we're not going to worry about that. What we're going to do is we're going to start deleting some of these symmetrical relationships because they're making the model angry. There we go. So this can move somewhere, but I can't figure out how. And that's not a big deal. It's exactly where I want it to be, so I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to do an extruded base of this shape. It's going to come up, and then another trick. So we're going to offset from a surface. So we're going to pick this face here, and we're going to say that we don't want it to come all the way to the surface. We want it to come within 0.01 of the surface. The reason why I'm doing that is just because that's how Legos really are. Click OK. Now we got some structure on the inside. I don't know if this is what Legos really look like, but they're going to have some kind of structure on the inside. And that is editing sketches and a few semi-advanced techniques. This has been Robert Murdoch for SolidWorks Demos. If you have some questions about SolidWorks that you'd like to ask me, please leave them in the comments or email me at mudrock1221@gmail.com. Or if you'd like to suggest a demo for me to do, I'd be happy to do that. Tune in again next time when we'll do assembly mates using our Lego pieces. And a little later on, we'll also use configurations.